Hey y'all, welcome to Actual Play, Band of Blades. We're here to go to Sky Dagger Keep. We're gonna do that thing where we see if we can actually fend off the Cinder King. Like, not fight, just not get destroyed by. Anyway, I'm Sean Nittner. I see him pronouns, and I am excited about all this. I'm excited that there's a chance that we might not even make it to the gates. It's a slim chance, but we will see. We'll find
You
out.
shut your mouth, Sean. You just shut right up.
That. Seriously, who says this?
Because it's that there's that possibility.
It's the thing is that I've seen many groups get here, and for some of them it's not even a possibility, and they feel very safe and secure. But yeah, we'll see. It's gonna come down to Jay's role in a hot second. Let's.
Speaking of which, how about you, Jay? Laughing away. You're muted.
I'm Jay. I use he/him pronouns. No pressure. I just got to make the roll, and we'll get the Sky Dagger Keep. Right. That's how that.
Right.
Right. That's how that works.
And then once we make it, it's just all downhill. It's just all easy.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
It's peaches and cream after that.
I mean, it'll be fine. You totally won't have to like deal with render and blader.
Beautiful. I think that's awesome. I'm ready. How about you, Jen?
I am Jen Martin. I use she/her pronouns. I'm stoked for this and a little scared, which I suppose is the right attitude for an RPG, maybe. So I'm bummed that it's the last game, but I think it's gonna be amazing. What about you, Misha?
Hi, Misha B. Also use she/her pronouns. I am a little weird because I was doing yard work earlier, and I'm allergic to grass, and so it's a bit of drill. So if I'm a little loopy, sorry. Yeah, I forget how allergic to grass I am, and I usually make my husband do the lawn, but long story. So, very excited, very nervous, very scattered. So, yeah. How about you, Strash?
Hey, I'm Strash, he/him. You can find me at Strash on the Twitters. I was actually just saying this. I was like, this is weird. I think I'm feeling nervous. I just don't feel nervous when running games. I've run so many hundreds of them that it's like second nature. But I guess there's a little bit of I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to see. So 14 sessions in, it comes down to one roll. Let's see how it goes. All right. So I believe we ended last game. Let me take a look here. Start with back at camp scenes.
Right.
Jen, are you ready for some back at camp?
I'm totally ready. I'm completely prepped. No problem.
Why don't you take a look at your list, and I'll just do one tiny little intro note. I'm just gonna set the scene sort of here. If you recall, for those of you watching, our merry band has been going deep underground. So through the mountains, there is an underground passage going through like ancient tunnel systems next to this like massive pit nobody's seen the bottom of.
Somebody might have.
I made some rolls for you folks. You will be happy to know that Victoria did not make it out in time for the rest of the story.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was really funny because like I rolled some stuff and then I made some decisions. I made some rolls and I was like 45s and I was like, all right, does her gear mess up or does something else happen? Is something else? So what? And then I made a little chart and I rolled on and I was like, oh, she made some of the pale crawlers. This is not gonna end well. Apparently she's dealing with a giant snake right now, so she's a little busy.
Nice.
Anyway,
I love that you can make your own choose your own adventure games, Josh. Just so like, fortune roll engine.
What do you do with your
with my NPCs?
Yeah.
Play a little mini games with them. Oh, yeah, definitely. That is absolutely what I do as well.
Mr. I need to fill every clock.
I was going to say, Sean draws clocks. That's how he determines things.
I make clocks for them.
More clocks. Stop clocks. All right. I have this. So anyway, I feel like the Legion. So the Legion has taken a shortcut underneath the mountains and is coming up much closer to Sky Dagger Keep than the people that have to like raise an elevation. And I don't know how many of you have gone mountain climbing, so let me talk a little bit about this. There's this point when you're going up the mountains, when the air starts becoming thin, you have to take regular breaks. You need a more consistent intake of calories and stuff. And after a while, trees stop. So Skydagger Keep is at roughly 12,000 to 13,000 feet. This means that because the atmosphere of this world was not yet destroyed by industrialization, there is perma-snow high up in the mountains. It is cold. The air is thin, and like I said, you're starting to raise above the point where there are any trees. So at this point, the majority of the stuff is just like lichen and rocks. There's more rocks. Occasionally, you might see like little chipmunks. Lots of birds up here, but that's about it. There are some gorgeous
animals that are super deadly, very high elevation too. There's,
Yeah.
there's lots of cats that weigh very little, but can take down things much bigger than themselves. And they don't even break the snowfall. They don't even break they can tread along the snow line without breaking.
giant paws.
Yeah.
So you folks are actually coming out of the cave systems, and the Legion's got their carts coming out, and stuff is being checked off and counted, and it's a you see sort of the two mountains between which is Skydagger Keep, because it's kind of in this pass, right? And it's this gorgeous, crisp, like near winter, but not quite there. It's like autumn, but at higher elevations, it's starting to feel like winter, right? Like it's got that blue sky. It's a gorgeous day. And Zora is standing next to the quartermaster who's checking off things. And she just casually looks at him and goes, "Looks like it's going to rain." There's like absolutely no clouds in the sky. There's like one, but it's like fluffy and gorgeous.
He's sort of like looking like, I don't think he's going to say, "I think we're above the rain clouds," but there's a sort of sense of like the majesty of this place. Like,
The screech of an eagle.
yeah, exactly. Okay. He just knows that's got to be something bad. It's like, if Zora said it, it's bad, dude. He just like kind of furrows his brows and is like, if you say so, and like double checks the last thing that he just checked off, right?
She just like puts one hand on your shoulder as she like moves away and just says like nods as if she's giving you all the information you need for the rest of the campaign. So you're good. She's very proud of herself. All right. Excellent. Are you ready with back at camp scenes, Jen?
Sure. I have a question for you, actually. I only have one medium morale scene left, and it is after an undead attack, the Legion must break camp and relocate.
Well,
Now,
if you're okay.
I was just going to say, if that one's not applicable, I can choose one of the low morale scenes.
We can totally apply it. Are you feeling it? Like, yeah, sure. We know that Blighter's coming up behind you. We know that Render has at least one pack of deadly undead that has brought down what are they called? The cave entrances and stuff. So you folks had to divert and dig your way through a certain path.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, they can totally be. Cool. You could even get pincer maneuvered by a couple of units and sort of book it.
Yeah,
it's like a good like scene right as we're heading to Skydagger. I dig it a lot.
Yeah, neat.
So what does that look like?
Yeah, I think what it ends up looking like is like, we've sent ahead scouts to figure out like which path we're taking and whatnot, and they scout out and they come back and they're like, hey, we're gonna go this way, blah blah blah, whatever, and then we go to try to go that way and the path is cut off, right? So we have to like book it in a different direction. And I think, sorry, go ahead.
Are you folks going without sleep overnight marching? Is that the plan? Is that where we pick the scene out?
Maybe.
It's up to you. I'm asking because like now you have to go up a path that you haven't scouted out, and you know that there are undead messing with you. So like, do you just like taunt them, or are you like trying to get to Skydagger ASAPs?
We have a diversionary force.
Yeah, I mean, I think for my part, the back at camp scene is this conversation, right? Like, I think we're all like, somebody thinks, hey, it's a good idea to distract them, and somebody else is like, I don't care, I just want to get the fuck to Sky Dagger right now. And like, it's that what happens when your plans go out the window and you have to make new plans quickly with a bunch of
Is it
humans.
the command staff talking, or is it the rank and file?
I think it's actually the command staff. I don't think we've seen them in a back of camp for a while. I mean, except for we
Okay.
always have the marshal, but
Marshall always gets called in to settle all the disputes.
I actually really want to see the commander, because we don't get to see the commander on we haven't seen her in a while, I think.
Yeah.
Um
Can I open it, Jen? I think I have
yeah, go for it.
Is it like in Commander's tent? Maybe we're all in there.
Yeah, we're having like a meeting, because it's like the scouts came back, and then we were all gonna go, and then word came down like, hey, we can't go that way anymore.
Quartermaster like dusts off some snow that's gotten on him from coming in, like pushes his way in and says, I just heard the engines, we have to leave one of the engines behind if we want to take the North Pass. It's never gonna take that elevation. I didn't build them to go uphill. And then that means half the supplies got to get carried on soldiers' backs, which is going to slow us down. We have to leave a few people behind just to guard our back, because they're going to attack as soon as we put our defenses down. Basically, Quartermaster just comes to you with like a huge list of problems, Commander. It's like everything is just like, here's one problem, and the way we'll fix it, and then the next problem that it's going to solve, it's going to create.
This
No
is a
good
problem
news.
sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
No good news. Everything sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So after he's finally done, he's like, so what do you want to do?
We're doing this thing. I didn't expect this was going to be easy. I know this wasn't going to be easy. We didn't sign on for an easy job. Make it happen, right? This is what we do. So if you just needed the rank, Quartermaster, that's awesome. I hear you. Now let's get the job done.
So do you care about leaving behind supplies or people?
Supplies. We need the people.
Okay, you got it. It's gonna be a wreck. And I think like maybe Misha, I don't know if you want to be in this, but I think like maybe Quartermaster's leaving as Marshal's coming in. I'm not sure if you have. I just kind of feel like I want to barrage the commander with problems.
Right.
I don't want to script other people's scenes, but
yeah, sure. So yeah, the Marshal is coming in as you're going out. Look, I've had to break up 4 fights today alone, and I'm getting sick of it. You might need to like go and like yell at people some, please. Pretty, please. With a cherry on top or something. Cause they're apparently no longer scared of me yelling at them.
The
You've
commander
done it a
kind of
lot.
is putting her jacket on. She's buttoning it up. She runs her hands through her hair, like in like stress fashion, right? And then she says, they're gonna have plenty to fight in a short amount of time. Just help me keep them together till we get them there. There's gonna be plenty for everybody to do.
Fine.
a variation on the theme of just do it.
Right, just do it. But she's nicer to the Marshal.
Yeah. Well, Marshall is nicer than the Quartermaster. It's fair.
True facts.
Yep. Neat.
And so she's kind of waiting for who's next.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
And if no one comes, then we see her, if she's the only one in her tent, kind of get stressed out a little bit.
I actually think I wasn't going to have the lore keeper come in, but I actually think the lore keeper is going to come in with a drink
Oh.
and just hands you a glass.
Right.
And
Bring her up first.
says, I don't need anything,
Right.
but just drink this.
Nice. That's awesome.
Did you two come up together in the ranks? Like, is there a familiarity that the others may not have?
I think maybe it's coming from the military. I think it's a role familiarity.
Okay.
So when I was in the military, there's a first shirt, and everyone that's enlisted has a relationship with the first shirt. They've heard about the first shirt. They know like the legends and all the stories of the first shirt. Even though I may not know the first shirt personally,
Okay.
I know what that role is about. So maybe it's like that the commander and the lore keeper always have those roles have a relationship, and we get to know each other, but we go through that role first before it becomes personal. And so maybe we're at that overlap right now.
Oh,
I like it.
it's so charming.
Nice.
All right, I feel like that's scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
Cool.
I don't have my sheets up. So
I have a tale to tell. So
Excellent.
Which
Do
is
you
probably
wanna
going to be my next thing.
kick it
Sure.
off.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell a tale of the Legion's meaning. I'm not actually going to tell a whole tale because I didn't make a whole tale, but that's fine. The Legion is no longer just a military, but sisterhood and brotherhood forged in blood over a century. This is a tale of that bond, right? So the first question is, how do civilians treat the Legion differently than other units? I think it's a bunch of like sort of small things, right? I don't think the Legion necessarily commands an extraordinary amount of respect from civilians. But I think, civilians maybe are slightly less likely to start a fight with the Legion, because the Legion has this history of like, we band together, and if you pick a fight with one of us, you just picked a fight with all of us. We always eat together, so like we don't really get separated, I think, as much. It's just little things, the way that civilians look at us or offer hospitality to us. We're just separate. We're not civilians. And there's another question: what oath must all legionnaires speak? I would love to have written this down because I think it would be really cool. But it's a commitment, right? It's a I promise to serve the Legion and never let my fellow legionnaires eat alone, and so forth and so on. And then, how are new recruits inducted into the Legion? This is actually a question I kind of want to open up to everybody, because I don't necessarily think that I have a strong concept of this, which is ironic because it's the last session and I should, but
Jen, could I ask you follow-up questions about
yes, absolutely.
So the first one, the follow-up question is about the way people perceive us. How did it look then when Flavia and Lucretia were having that fight in the middle of everywhere? Was that a weird to see like two legionnaires like wrestling and fighting and punching each other? You think that freaked people out?
Yes, it was a spectacle. And the other thing is that if we were not legionnaires, they would have broken us up themselves, right? Because we would be disturbing their area, disturbing the dead in their area. But I think because we were not because we were legionnaires, everybody was just like, okay, we're not touching them, we're not doing it. Oh, thank God the marshal's here.
Nice.
And my second question about the promise is: we promise to serve unto death. Is it a lifelong promise? Is it a like what?
Yes, I think it is. And let me see if I can find my thing, because I did actually write this down. Yeah, so the Legion values: I may die, but the Legion lives on. Those are words we actually speak.
Nice.
All right. I have a question. Are there exceptions to that? One of the things that I really think makes the Legion separate from others, right, is that most military units are tied to a landmass. So like you will have an army of a country, which also means that people in that army frequently have houses and children and things like that. Like they live as part of the country that they're in frequently, right? Like maybe not everyone, but like, definitely a number. They may serve for a while and then return home or whatever. They have family, they have ties.
Right.
But the Legion gives all that up, and they travel so much that none of that is like legit. So like that separation is huge. But like, are there exceptions? Are there people who are so badly injured they're allowed to retire, or is this like one of those pretty grim things? Where it's like,
Nobody leaves.
No, I think people are allowed to retire, and I think it's like it has to be like a mutual agreement, right, between the person who wants to leave and then their commanding officer. And I think in cases where both parties agree, then it's like a mutually, like, it's like, cool, thank you for your service, whatever.
Charge rather than
Right. Now, if somebody just wants to quit the Legion and the commanding officer doesn't, sign off on it, then it's like, cool,
That's
you
desertion.
abandoned us. Yes.
That does not end well.
No, correct.
All right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Cool.
Oh, and then we get an effect, which I was going to pick Soldiers Remember Why They Fight. One mission next set gains plus 2D to its engagement roll, unless someone wants to argue me otherwise.
I certainly don't hate engagement rolls.
Yeah.
What is this engagement roll? What are the, out of curiosity, what are the other options?
One of them is promote a rookie to soldier. Or next primary mission, each specialist gains +1 special armor any.
Well, so I will make an argument then. If you promote Irinov Boryeva to soldier, then the Grinning Ravens become an elite unit of all soldiers without having to do any replacements. And that's worth +1D to an engagement roll right there. And it's 5 soldiers.
Yeah. Is that worth giving up a +2D to an engagement roll?
I mean, it's a trade-off of a D, right? It's because it will be worth +1D.
Right.
I will point out that I have a note that Boryova is very unhappy. And part of the reason is because this is the second time she was benched whenever her squad went out to get replaced by some rando from the freaking Lions. So, up to you.
I'm open to it. If you guys, Marshall, what do you think? Commander?
I think we will have a problem with morale if we don't get her promoted. The only other option is to just do it again, and then she's not on the squad that goes out, and it's not an issue. So, yeah, I know.
This would give you 2 all-soldier squads, though, I believe, right?
No, I think Grinning Ravens is our closest.
Is it? Because I thought Lions were all soldiers.
Link is a soldier. No,
we got 3 rookies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Elite squad sounds beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we have enough. Ember Wolves have a soldier. I think we have enough that we could make 2 squads of all soldiers, but it would be messy.
Yeah, everybody would be like.
Everybody would be getting mixed around. But I think we could only do that if we promoted Irinov. I'm only 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe not even then, actually. No, we can't. So.
Yeah.
Oh, at least you'll have 1 full soldier squad.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't think this is a democracy, so I don't. So
nope,
it's
lucky for you, get to decide.
No, I know, but that's fine. Let's do that. Let's promote Irinov to soldier. Yep.
Right. Cool. Means if anyone's making her, remember to make her as a rookie first, and then take her.
Well, she's already made.
She is.
Well, she's got a couple XP.
Okay.
She is not made, actually.
Yeah.
She does not have any special abilities or anything else. Shows it. Control Z. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm a Newton bitter.
It's fine. Right. I mean, if we don't play her, she still isn't even made. But it's worth noting that she got promoted up, so she gets 2 special abilities.
Yep.
Neat.
Nice. All right, are we ready to do campaign actions? Jenna, am I good to?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. All right, Marshall, what's our morale?
6.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Good times.
That means we have one. We have one campaign action, and I have two supply. So we are spending the one campaign action on Liberty. Marshall, we get +2 morale. We go up to 8. I'm going to clear stress. I've already done it. And I'm going to spend the next 2 supply on boosted rest and recuperation, which is going to add 2 ticks of healing to everybody. I've already done it. And I'm going to use Mercy Alban the Mask to tend to Rhea Manabar's level 3 wounds, so that'll be healed. And I'm going to use Mercy Shining Twilight to tend to Victoria, so her poisoned wound will be gone. So everybody is healed up except Rhea still has because that
the pulled shoulder that she pulled in the very first game.
like Van Damme and Bloodsport. That's her
I'm so charmed by this. I love it.
I just couldn't dig up enough healing. Our laborers are going to put 3 ticks on the siege engine, and then with the hammer of Matiar, that'll be 4. So we're going to finish our 3rd siege engine.
Woot.
And then I'm going to roll for our alchemists to finish the deep project. And I only have 2 alchemists this time because one of my alchemists was busy being a mercy. So we'll see if she can. We'll see if we can pull through some alchemy. Yes, that is exactly what I needed. There's 2 ticks on the deep. Everybody on one of our missions is going to be equipped with deep. Whoever's going to go face blighter, they will not have to breathe. Also helpful because of this altitude. So yes, we have some supplies of deep for the troops. And then I'm going to roll to see what corruption is like.
Nice. Free corruption.
Oh,
it's
no,
bad.
Not nice. It's bad.
It's the opposite of nice. 6 is nice. Crit is better. Crit is nothing.
All right, 3 corruption. Spread among mine alchemist Ruben Garossi, who's going to take 2 of it, go up to 4. And Aurora Rodano, Landgrave Aurora Rodano is going to take 1 of it. She'll go up to 4 as well. They're each half corrupted, but they're still carrying on. Keep on keeping on. And that is the campaign actions.
Done.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, wait, I have to spend food because time passes.
Time passes.
Okay. Food. We're down to three food stores.
All right. So last but not least, it's time to advance. Jay, would you like to roll our final advancement here? Sean, I assume you're spending a fuel for your engines.
Yep. I don't know that I have to actually. Our pressure is 1 right now.
Oh, that's right. It would well, technically it goes to 2 during time passes. My bad.
Oh, yeah, then yes, I'm definitely spending 1 fuel. Yep.
All right, Jay, you ready to see if if the Legion is about to get wiped out and make its final stand?
I'm ready.
All right. You're gonna roll a 0 die advancement here, and we'll see what you get.
So it's just 2d6, and we're taking the lowest, right?
Yeah.
We're taking the lowest. That's correct. So by the way, on time passes, I actually made a mistake. I thought that it was only on double 6s, but I forgot that during time passes, time also advances by 1. So that 3 means that it advances by 1 more, and you have exactly 1 pie slice.
I think we did time.
Maybe.
I think we did.
But it doesn't matter regardless, because that 3 squeaks you by.
Yes.
So the commander gives the order to dump everything that needs to be dumped, and move at top speed. And you folks are going to arrive at Skydagger Keep with like mere days before the enemy forces are there. So let's change over this little view and give you some Skydagger art real quick. So this is from the book, it's Skydagger Keep. And the way the Skydagger Keep works is this is actually if you got their much earlier picture, it is way colder and there is way more snow right now. So as you folks approach it, you realize that it's this massive thing that was built like I think like over 100 years ago. It's got walls that extend both directions. It's got this big keep with a giant door, and you're supposed to like pass through it in the middle. The battlements are covered with like feet of snow that hasn't been cleaned in forever. This is not a place where people stay anymore. Once upon a time, that may have been relevant. Occasionally, if there's like tensions between countries, it might become relevant. But for the most part, it's been decades since this was actually properly populated. The gates are actually open because it's a trade route and people just pass through. It is a place where at these altitudes people will stop and like sleep overnight before they start the down passage like towards Aldermark. But it's definitely not a place that's been upkept and run, right? Like it's supposed to be able to house like over 100 people, but at most like a couple dozen maybe stayed here like when they're taking a trade route that is longer and less safe than the route through Panya, right? So yeah, this is a place that you are supposed to get fixed up and battle ready faster than anybody should. You have like hours to do what should probably take days or weeks. So that's roughly the situation you're in. So let's talk about Skydagger Keep. The reason we don't pick specific missions is the way that Skydagger Keep is done is with a series of what's called vignettes. So we're going to do these like micro missions where there is like one set of problems that you need to overcome. So instead of like talking about approaches and like how do you do X, Y, or Z, there's like a little bit of hard framing, and then we just like address like the one major issue there is that you need to do. And there are 5 of these altogether. I think I actually put the end game handout in there, so if you want to throw that up on screen, Sean, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to do a couple of things. We got to reinforce the ramparts and gates, which is actually a long-term project. Quartermaster. We have to hold the lower pass, stop the main force coming up from below, assemble the siege weapons, and hold off the second wave. And then there is a final 6th objective, which is done differently. It's a one roll to see how the like end goes. So this is it. This is Skydagger. This is what we got to do. So we have to do one long-term project and 4 missions, and then a final roll. That's what we're gonna do. So Sean,
Yeah.
you're actually in charge of the thing that we're gonna do first,
Got it.
is we're gonna do the reinforce the ramparts and gates minigame, which involves trying to get this thing set up. Now, let's have a little talk super quick before we jump into missions and do vignettes. Does anybody have last scenes they want to do before everything kind of like the whole Legion's going to get assigned to a bunch of different missions? Like people are not going to see each other until the very end again. So like if anybody wants to have any final words or any final scenes, now's the time. I have one.
I mean, I would love to just see a little like comic book panel of Flavia, because she's picked up a thing in the last week.
That's actually the thing that I wanted to talk to you about.
Sweet.
So folks watching here that don't know, Flavia is planning to buy some weave because our super ingenious soldier has decided that it's a brilliant idea to try and bind herself to Zora.
Nothing can go wrong.
Well, actually, I think you actually spend most of the trek up the mountains screaming in the back of a wagon.
Okay.
It's not pleasant. So what people may not know is that the process that creates mercies generally kills a large number of applicants. It's not safe, right? Like becoming like that is not a clean process. Zora is like, yeah, but like we don't even know how this process works on this end. But Flavia's gonna spend some XP and she's gonna have some Zora blood in her system. And by the time you're done, there are probably parts where you feel like you're gonna burn alive. You probably actually have burns manifesting on your skin, even though you're not submerged in any sort of fire. But by the time you're done, what I'm gonna tell you is I think there's probably like a moment when like everything passes and you're stable, right? And Zora will have a chat with you where she explains how some stuff works. And And did you want to do anything specific, or did you just want to have like a panel?
No, I nothing specific. I just wanted to make sure we got to see a little bit of it on screen.
Yeah, I think there's probably like a couple of shots of like Zora having like some like cream or something on the back of her hand and like putting it on your wounds and like making sure that like squeeze out a cloth with like cold water and sort of like walks by the it's weird, right? Because like she has like no expression on her face. Like you're screaming, you know, your lungs out here, and everyone else is like, is she gonna be okay? And Zora's just like perfectly calm. She's just like, yep, we're marching because that's what we do. And but yeah, I think in her own way, it seems like she's paying attention and caring. Just a lot of the emotions that humans describe, like mothering or you know, like being like a sister or a friend that's like tending somebody who's sick. She doesn't seem to have whatever component of humanity is required to do that. But yeah, when it's all said and done, she's gonna have a conversation with you where she steps you through some like basic things. Like she explains that like there's this pulse, like the thing that makes life work, and you can kind of feel it, and you can feel it even more in people that are like living more brightly, as she puts it. But what she tells you, like what she shows you, is how to like ignite that, because that's like where her fire comes from. It's not she's burning basically like life itself to an extent. That's like what her as a matter of fact, like now, if you ever see her crown, you realize that there is actually like a word in the middle of the fire, and that word is dawn. And so like, yeah, she just ignites this force, and she warns you. She's like, look, you're gonna get horribly lightheaded, because she's like, you're not like me. Like your blood does not contain enough of this. Like it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna take some practice before you get used to it. I.e., the more weave you have, the more like cinder your blood, the more like occasionally you can do this. She can do this like a lot more than you, because she's effectively burning her like grace or whatever the hell it is. But for you, what your weave allows you to do, like I had a chat with John. I was like, so John, what happens if this happens? And we're like, I don't know, let's make some rolls. And then like we had a little discussion. We're like, okay, so if you become weave bound to someone who's attached to the living god, your weave allows you to weave fire. So that's how it works.
I like it.
Very cool.
All right, cool. I've played a lot of campaigns, but this is the first time this has happened. So hey.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, that's all the scenes that I want. You folks, do you have anything else you want to do?
I have a similarly short scene. I think it'll be short. I think as we're walking alongside the steam engines and we're all carrying a bunch of heavy load and everything like that, at some point, I don't know, Jen, is Rhea carrying a heavy load with her shoulder? Is she just like struggling through it, or does she have a lighter load than other folks?
She it's probably in between that. She's carrying more than Zionova wants her to carry, but less than she wants to carry.
Fair. I think at some point Zionova catches up to her and is just marching alongside her for a while.
Okay.
It's not like not really saying anything. The air is really, really thin, and so it's hard to talk a lot. You have to really work on conserving your energy. Yeah. And so there's probably a good while where they're just sort of walking, and then just sort of slowly, subtly, her hand kind of moves over to sort of try and like have her pinky catch.
Yeah.
And does she respond?
Oh yeah, of course.
So she's trying to keep it very subtle, because this isn't private time. This is like marching time, right?
Right.
And I think Rhea feels like something metal placed into her hand. And and then Zionova kind of like, you know, I think maybe when Zionova breaks free, she feels that there's like something metal placed in her hand. And we have all these laborers, they have all these parts, there are metal things around. And those things and rings are a common sort of thing that all these laborers can make. And Zionova has like misused her officerial powers. Have something forged by all of these Orite clock smiths that like you
Oh
want
my
like a
God.
ring, like just like a ring that
Like a
doesn't
normal that doesn't do anything.
do anything.
Yay!
Yeah. Anywho, so that's that.
That makes me really happy.
Cool.
I kind of want to see the quartermaster trying to get his die back.
Oh yeah. I love it. I love it. Who wants to play Voyas?
I can play Voyas.
You can play Voyas? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have a very, very different scene, Jed.
We sure will.
Where does Quartermaster find Voyas?
I mean, I think marching, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Cool.
Um,
So we cut across other side, and Quartermaster is like his own gray is showing. You know, his roots are showing, his gray is showing, and he kind of like he's got like various laborers that are running alongside, and like one of them's following and like been like, okay, you said ditch this, yep, chuck it. We're not going to need it. We're either going to die now or we're going to resupply in Skydagger, and so one of his staff is like, okay, and like some bit of the supply cart just gets hoofed off, like chucked into the snow, and then he sort of turns to Voyas and says, "You ready, soldier?
of course, always.
Prepared to fight and do all the things the marshal tells you to do? Right? You look ready.
You don't.
It's important to look ready. Important to be ready."
I think
look,
Voyas has got like a little
man.
sly smile on his face because he knows exactly what the quartermaster is doing. And he maybe kept that jar to himself longer than he strictly needed to.
It's like, don't make me restrict your rations. Call it cruelty.
Are you sure it's worth carrying up this mountain?
Look, I'm going to throw away a lot of things, not my pride.
He does like a deep belly laugh at that and like pulls it out of his pack and just hands it to you.
Job, soldier. And he like pats you on the
He just keeps laughing like louder and more fully in this thin air than he really has any right to.
Nice. Yeah, I think we next see Quartermaster sitting on the back of fly carts that's being dragged, and he's being annoyed by his people, and he's like, "Not now."
Does he like have the plastic cap?
Oh yeah, totally. Absolutely, 100%.
Oh my
He's got the
God.
Kind of likely to be plastic, but it is something.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right.
It's a mesh something.
It's fabric with like a bunch of dye stains on it,
Yeah,
right? Of all different colors.
Black doesn't show the dice stain.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, at some point when a laborer asks him something, he's like, "Shut up! Hold my mirror." Here we go. Perfect. There we go. Love it. Did not realize how vain this character was, but
Perfect. I love it. I love the visual of him sitting on the back of a cart being hoofed up a mountain, tying his hair.
Yup.
All right. Anything else, or are we diving into our last and finals here?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Cool.
All right. Quartermaster.
Yeah.
You should cooperate with the marshal, but I believe that in order to get the stuff repaired in time, you need a specialist and a squad to do the work, because it's not trivial.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, go ahead.
What am I rolling? I know I get bonuses for laborers, but what do we pick the action as?
So let's first decide who it is that you're assigning, because they're not going on the other missions.
Right.
That's the squad that's going to be dealing with this. You probably want people that are good at things like rig,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe marshal. I don't know. just because you need to get people that can either organize other people, find resources, or be able to fix things, right? Because you got to fix all the stuff in the keep. Like, I'll give you the first piece of the puzzle. Let's set the scene.
Yeah.
The way that Skydagger Keep works is there is actually like a furnace style thing deep in its belly, and you have to like go down these stairs, and it's super frosty cold, and clearly there hasn't been fire here in a long time. So you're gonna have to get the furnace activated and spun up, and then what you expect is that like when there is enough heat, there's actually water in it. It's like a water heating system that runs pipes throughout the keep, and then it melts the snow off and also heats the inside so that all of you can survive at the altitudes and at the heat level that you need to, so that it's not like death to just be here. As a matter of fact, like by the time you're getting up there, like Akara's arm isn't quite working 100% right, because like it's that cold, right? Like the wheels are squeaking and running into trouble. You have to like release them a couple of times. As a matter of fact, the clockmaker is bitterly complaining because he's like, this was not in the specifications.
Right. Sure, that's
and,
a fun
yeah, right. And he's like cooking up oils real fast and like trying to get stuff done. And a lot of this stuff is, as a matter of fact, you notice that like some store of food is missing because he's like cooking something down, some like mushrooms or something, trying to get the right kind of oil to
Right.
Nice.
Like, it's the work. So like that's it's the cold changes how a lot of things work, right? And so the keep is like a safe haven from that, right? Like if you can get the furnace activated, that's like the first step. And then of course, it's a furnace that hasn't been turned on in 100 years. There's probably going to be burst pipes that you're going to have to patch and things like that. So like that's your first set of objectives. So I'm going to make a 10 clock, which represents this, and you get to make one roll before the enemy appears. That's all the time you got.
Nice. Cool. So Quartermaster turns to Marshall and says, I know all of our troops want to fight, but I think the Star Vipers are the best equipped to sort this out. They know things. They understand things, and we need someone who can use their brain instead of the brawn. And how do you feel about giving me them to get this equipment fixed and working so we don't freeze death up here?
How about I give you the ghost stags?
The what now?
Ghost stags.
The what now?
What happens when you take the ghost owls and you combine them with the silver stags to make one unit? Because that'd be exactly 5.
Got it. Okay, I can take that. Lucretia, is she the CO of the Ghost Stack? Okay, I can work with that. I know you don't want to give me anyone to lead them, but how do you feel about our new scout? He seemed crafty at building things, so I heard. He built some big harness system.
You're talking about Raging Leaf, yeah?
Yep. I'm sorry. Don't keep. I just scout, soldier.
Yeah. I got you.
You know their names.
That's why I'm making sure we're talking about the same person. Because, my definition of new and your definition of new might not line up, but I just want to make sure, because I know they're not rutabagas or turnips or radishes, but they're still important.
Apparently, we lose a lot of rutabagas and radishes to grumble. Anyhow. Who do you want to give me?
You can have Indigo.
Okay. All right. I'm sending all my staff, all my support staff. They're gonna have a whole mess of people working down there. I hope they can coordinate.
Awesome. So Sean, you should tell me what how Indigo is attempting to solve this problem. You should name an action and we'll take a look at it. And it could be anything. We could be rolling scrounge to get the wood to heat up the pipes or whatever,
I like that a lot, actually. That sounds great. I was thinking rig, but I think right now getting resources in this first step.
Cooking down oil maybe to like have a long burning fire while they can get like other supplies in, because wood is actually rare at this elevation. So You know,
Okay.
this guy's like horse poop. So,
Those like cow patties. Those would
exactly. Horse patties will work.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I think scrounging up every burnable item, everything that can be turned into fuel.
Disassembling whatever is, oh, did we get here? Cool. Let's disassemble the stuff that we don't use. No, not that one. That one's growing radishes. The other one.
Yeah, exactly. Bits of the supply cart, 100%. Scrounge is great. I think that's fantastic.
Let's do it. So roll his scrounge, and I believe the rule for this is, let me double check just to make sure that I'm not lying to someone, but I think it's you get plus 1d per unit of laborers.
Yep.
So let's take a look.
That's
probably
what
a lot. If I recall that makes you very good at this.
I'm rolling 6 dice, the most I've
All right.
ever rolled for anything. This is the quartermaster in effect right now.
All right, let's see it.
All right. Fortune. Finding fuel. It's as many dice as you can even roll in this system. All right, what do I get?
Well, that's a 666 to start us out.
Nice.
What?
So that's five
That's what I'm
ticks.
talking about 5 ticks on that 10-click clock.
Wow,
That-
that's a
I
good
mean,
start.
This is what quartermaster does: is I fill up clocks.
It's true.
Shout is like, I love this game. It's so good, so many clocks. But I think that's actually really awesome. So what you're saying is that his managerial style is to tell the laborers to do the thing that they do best,
Mm.
tell the squad to support them in the ways that they know best, and then just disappear and keep reappearing with whatever they need. Like, we need it. And he's like, got 3 of them here.
Yep.
So, all
I
right.
totally think so. I think he's just Johnny on the spot with like all the, whenever there's something's about to tip over, he's right there catching it or bringing the thing he needs. Love
All
it.
right. So I had a discussion with Misha about this a little off stream. I had an idea and I kind of felt like we really want to see the result of a specific mission first so that we can like tie it into sort of the scenario for the second. So like I asked if we could do as our first mission that's deployed, hold the lower pass. So here's the deal. This is actually happening after / simultaneously as the first mission, which is the first mission is called Stop the Main Force is the mission I want to do, and it's happening simultaneously with the mission called Hold the Lower Pass. Let me explain what both of those are. Essentially, the undead, once they realize that you folks are setting up, decide to deploy a very powerful advanced unit that moves very quickly to try and get to you and stop you from doing your prep and sort of like maul through people and get through your defenses and like attack you in the keep in like true the Thing fashion or whatever. So anyway, there's going to be a unit that's going to intercept them and hold them off. But while they're doing that, there is another unit that's deployed at a higher altitude whose purpose is to try and set up a bunch of explosives and bring down the mountainside to cut off the majority of the army, because you folks are capable of fighting maybe a couple dozen people at the moment at the time, and then like eventually once all your defenses are set up and so on and so forth, you might be able to hold off like multiple dozens of people, like 100 people at a time or whatever. But you cannot fight like an army of like 2 armies that are going to join up that are going to have several thousand people like indefinitely. The pass really helps, but everything's not ready. Like your gates are not reinforced, the like siege weapons are not in place, everything like that is like ahead of schedule. So what you're trying to do is bring down a section of the mountainside to block off the entryway, and while the undead churn through it, you're planning to finish your preparations so that you can like fall back behind the line, right? And that's so I want to do the mountainside falling because I wanted to see the result of that, because the people holding off the folks underneath are going to sort of like have a clock, and that clock is going to be that mountainside coming down, and at that point, you're good. So let's do this mission. I'm gonna read the little vignette thing to you, and then we'll do Misha will tell us who is going on that mission, and we'll make an engagement roll. So, stop the main force, assign 1 squad and 2 specialists to a dangerous recon mission that involves climbing the mountain passes and evading undead patrols. Their objective is to start an avalanche to stall and stagger the main undead force. So, we're going to zoom right in and deal with them trying to like climb mountainsides while there's some undead trying to attack them. So like Misha, tell us who's on this mission.
Going to be the Shattered Lions.
Nice.
Cobalt Raging Blaze, and the sniper Contessa Victoria Azzurro.
All right, sounds
Very
good. So this is a dangerous recon mission. So this is a recon mission. Just engagement rolls as normal.
All right. So everybody hit with sworn. Commander, are we getting an intel?
I have one intel left.
You should probably save it
Yeah.
for the truly nasty missions.
Okay.
Everybody is not a veteran on this one. Nobody fears or distrusts. We have a required specialist. Quartermaster, are we giving horses?
No.
Anybody starting with heavy? I'm going to say no. So we have one.
Victoria is a strategist, so you have 2.
Two. Excellent. This is the
Hey, desperate position.
All right.
oh, fun.
All right. So tell us who's playing whom, and I will start you in a desperate position.
I
I need to check my notes as to who's here.
We should definitely have someone play Lucretia because she is the grenadier. Or not Lucretia, sorry.
Coral. No, the other one.
Lenka.
Linka, yeah.
Yeah.
I picked her for a reason. Yeah. So we need a Linka. We'll take a Coral, and then we need a sniper and a scout. I'll take the sniper. Jay, you want to be the scout? Cobalt Raging Blaze.
Okay.
Sean, you want to be Lucretia? Not Lucretia. We keep doing it. Linka.
Lenka?
And Jen, you want to be Coral?
Sure.
Awesome.
Cool. Lenka came from a traveling carnival. And that is her backstory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh
I just looked at
Promoted to soldier by the fires of Kavala.
oh wow. That's a one hell of a life story.
Yeah.
Right on. So
Who's in charge, Misha?
Fart. You're gonna make me do that. You are.
Okay. that wasn't fun to put you on the spot.
legit
Sorry.
answer. Link is apparently in charge.
It's a perfectly valid answer. You're
It
a
is.
Lenka's the grenadier. She's the one that's going to be setting the explosives.
Yep.
So okay, I'm for it. Cool. All right, what do we got? You said that you sort of hard frame these missions, right? We know what we're trying to do. We're trying to climb up this mountain and blow it up. So
All right, so I'm going to remind everyone that this is a recon, not an assault mission, which means that your primary objective is to bring down the mountainside. That is the only thing that matters. However, it's going to be very difficult, and I'll explain the whys here in 2 seconds. Which is, there is this point where the majority of you are climbing up the mountainside, right? So like you've got this this chain, and it's like, you know, taloned and grappled or whatever, and you folks are like going up it, right? And who's first to the top? It can be an NPC if you like.
I think it's Cobalt Drifting Reef. I think it's our scout.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, that makes sense.
So Cobalt, there's this moment where you like get to the top and you check the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to say something horrible that happens to you because this is the desperate situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you turn around and you're looking at the people coming up the chain climbing, right? Like everyone's like climbing up the side of the mountain. Not necessarily like up the chain like in gym, but like,
Yeah.
you know, up the mountain. Do you say like words of encouragement? Do you take like a sip of water? What's the
I mean, I think I'm just looking around, right? Trying to assess, like, you know, and if I see like a path that somebody should take rather than the one they look like they're going on, like I'll try and like do advising and stuff like that.
Let me just double check. Hang on. Are you playing the scout or is Jay playing the scout? Just so that I'm clear.
I thought I was
I'm-
playing Cobalt.
I'm playing.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was. Never mind. I'm playing Coral Drifting Reef.
Yes.
Sorry. All right. I was
Go
double
ahead.
checking. I was like, I thought Jay.
No,
Jay
I was
picked-
confused.
just
Yeah,
checking
no,
this-
sorry.
the Scout.
Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
All right, we're cool. So Jay, take it away. Same question.
Hang on, I'm pulling up Cobalt here now. Yeah, no, I think I'm kind of guiding, leading, trying to make sure everyone stays on the path, move as I move.
Cool. So I think you're giving people like hints, and this is like one of those like absolute horror movie moments where like you're leaning down and you're like, remember you want to check the handhold that, and then you're just flying through the air and down the mountainside, and there is a giant, pale, eyes sewn shut face of a hound above everyone, looking down, sort of at the grappling hook. And now I wait for the nope.
Yeah, sure. Nope.
Nope.
Awesome. It could be either one of you, but you got to tell me how you stop this giant hound from knocking you off the cliff and then just plucking out the chain and dropping everyone.
So I think the sniper is keeping a eye out, and
From the cliffside.
yeah, she senses this ambush getting ready to happen somehow. Like, she's like second,
No
she's, like,
problem.
right behind Cobalt. So there's only like a couple of seconds between Cobalt getting to the top and Victoria getting to the top. So yeah, she catches a whiff of the hound like 2 seconds before, and because I have ambush, we managed to get off, whip our rifle off her back and fire.
That's not likely while you're holding on to a cliffside.
Yeah, no.
Sorry. You need 3 points of anchor. You're not firing shoulder braced rifles while doing that.
Right.
Hey, do you have a different? I mean, resists are totally plausible. I was expecting somebody to like leap out and catch Jay's arm. I was expecting Jay to like sense the danger coming and roll out of the way. I'm pretty sure that shots aren't going to happen though.
Then yeah, we instead I like reach up and yank him down flat as opposed to standing still.
Awesome. That's an insight resist.
Nice.
And since I have ambush, I get a D, extra D.
Nope, that's only on actions, not on resistances.
Okay. Excellent.
It's specifically on attacks when the opponent is unaware of you. This opponent is very aware of you.
I got a 6.
Nice.
All right, cool. So it costs you no stress, right? So like you just leap up the last couple of feet, you grab like the tunic of Cobalt and you yank Cobalt down, and there's this like massive white arm swipe through where Cobalt was. Cool. So that's the situation that we're in. It's a little desperate. Most of the people are on a cliffside. You've got a scout up top and a sniper near the top. What's the plan?
And we're all attached on this chain still, right? I mean,
Sure.
the
Yeah.
threat of the hound, the hound pulls up the chain is still a very real one.
Yeah.
I
mean, remember that the chain is running through you. So like it could theoretically like jerk you with it. Like you folks probably have it fastened on you, but you're not like hanging by it, right? Like you're on a cliff and climbing a cliff. You just have something that you're climbing alongside so that if
Right.
somebody falls, they don't like die horribly on the rocks
we
below.
can detach. Okay, cool, excellent. Thank you for clarifying. So we're not.
Yeah.
We're.
So you're gonna make like a maneuver roll to scramble to the top. It could be any number of things. I'm not like, it's just that currently the only person with feet and position at the top that isn't actually on a cliffside is the scout.
Yeah. I
So
think,
what's the?
Lenka sort of sees this swipe. Jay, tell me if you have another idea in mind because you're.
Right.
Lenka sees this swipe, and she said she kind of yells out, everyone off the chain and scramble up. And I want to lead a maneuver to get everybody up top so that we
Right.
can face the thing on decent footing.
That
Right.
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess you're rolling maneuver for the squad, and I believe your sniper is also rolling maneuver if she wants to go up. You can also let Jen roll maneuver for the squad if you want.
Yep, I'm definitely rolling maneuver for the squad. Over the
Okay.
top. When you charge in the teeth of an enemy, I think we're literally doing that. Oh, it outnumbers our guns, yo. What do you think, Strash? Is this an out?
I know for a fact that they don't outnumber you, but I feel like they outgun you.
Yeah, I feel like them like hovering over us feels like it. I don't know. It
You
seems
also
like
assume there's one guy there. He has a squad. He
Okay,
just charged ahead, right? Like his squad is like behind him.
nice.
So go ahead.
All right. So yeah. Make sure you roll your maneuver, and it's desperate, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. So we get XP. Cool.
Yay. Desperate standard.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Standard, and I get a bonus die. I get 2 bonus dice. One for being loyal and with the group action, and one for being over the top.
Correct.
Well,
that's all good. That's all gravy.
I clicked the wrong thing, so I should have rolled 2 more dice. I don't know why I keep clicking the wrong thing, but it doesn't matter because that's
Well,
all.
roll
Wait,
the,
two
roll
more
to find
dice
out if you
because
see if you
there
crit.
might be a 6.
Oh, that's true. Good point. I'm gonna roll my maneuver properly this time.
With no bonus dice, just so that it's 2, I guess.
Why do I keep? I swear I'm clicking maneuver. Anyway,
It's okay. We'll take it as a 4, 6, 2, 5. It's fine.
yeah. There's still 2 more dice there, so we can look at that. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome.
Mark
Yes.
your 1 XP, Sean. And
I did. Yeah. So I think we're, Josh, if this sounds good to you, like part of the maneuver is not just getting to the top, but like getting to the top and sort of assessing the threat, right? Like getting
Awesome.
ready to engage. Lenka has a shield on her back, and she's like pulling it forward for whatever attacks might come. What do we see up top?
So yeah, I think you folks are absolutely going to get there, and you're going to get there with steady footing before the enemy engages with you. You were in a desperate position, but your 6s mean that you are no longer.
Cool.
We're going to talk to Jay because Jay's going to have to survive for a hot 30 seconds while everybody hustles up, right?
Right.
So Jay, there you hit the stone and you feel the whoosh of death right above your head, and then you hear as the thing like tries to sniff for your breath. And when you whirl around, you realize that there's this giant monstrous hound, right? Like it's got its eyes sewn shut, it's got its teeth filed to points, it's got like rings in its collarbones, but like no chains attached to it, and it's huge. So yeah, you've seen this thing. Well, actually, I don't know that you've seen this thing before, but we as a table have seen this thing before in a town where it got thrown in a church by Matali.
Yes.
But it survived, and it is the advanced scouting fast unit for Render. And as a matter of fact, what you see is a squad of they're called is it Gaunt? I think it's Gaunt. It's humans that have had like hot metal pressed to them as armor and like drilled into them, and they're coming over the hill, and that's when there's like the sound of like air displacement, and the whole like stone shakes as one of the Heartless like jumps like off of like a little stone precipice and like lands on this little like there's like a protrusion like going out into the the wild blue yonder, and you folks see like past them there is like the path that you've been assigned to like mine, but like they got there before you folks. Like you get the sense that the Heartless may have used its like strength to like clamber up faster than you can, and the Hound probably carried several of the units on its back.
Gotcha.
So anyway, yes, you are like on the ground. You've got all your weapons, you got all your armor, but this Hound is above you for like a split second. And before its troops advance, what do you want to do? How do you survive this? Do you strike at it? Do you just like try and like clamp your mouth and hide? Like, what's the plan?
So I have a normal load. One of the options I took was large weapon. Can I be a spear? Can I set my spear?
You get to a large weapon just means any weapon that can be used with two hands. And yes, it can.
All right. Yeah. So can I kind of set my spear? And because it's right over top of me, right?
Yeah.
And maybe breathe a little bit so it gets to the spear.
I see. So what you're trying to do is get it to like use its strength to run itself onto the spear kind of thing.
Right.
All right, awesome. So let's I'm going to tell you that like if you use a spear to set against the charge, that would probably grant you potency, right? Because you're like leveraging a weapon in a way that's really strong.
Right.
I don't know that you have a ton of leverage here, so I'm just going to say it's a standard roll.
Okay.
What do you want to call this as an action?
I I could see this going a couple different ways.
Yeah, a ton of ways. You just
Way is it like, or is this like you're
just way to
tricking?
trick it. Yeah. It could be like, I don't know, rigging a trap. It could be just a straight up skirmish. It's like whatever you just tell me a story.
All those stink. Can I make it scout? I want a scout roll is what I want.
Okay, so you can tell me that you're overcoming the problem with scout, but scouting is
Right, no,
either looking for danger or trying to like sneak, right? And
Right.
maybe you can say like, well, I'm trying to sneakily set up the spear and sort of trick it into a trap. Is that a little bit scout? I'm gonna say, sure, Jay, but it's limited effect.
Right. Let's go with skirmish.
Okay.
And can I trade the standard roll for desperate roll?
Yes, you can. So you want desperate great effect?
Yes.
Okay, I'm in. Do it.
Awesome. Because it's a desperate roll, I'm a daredevil.
Oh, plus 1D. You're gonna push?
Yes.
Of
And I'm
course
going
you
to
are.
push.
Now, these could be bad consequences. I'm going to tell you, but
Yes.
let me double check. I think I still have the one.
I know we're all scrambling up the hill, but I wonder if any of us are in position to aid.
Just tell me a story. That's all I ask always of my players.
Tell me a story.
Right? Yeah. So I can't see it, but like you can paint me a picture, and if it makes sense, we'll roll with it.
I mean, I think we know hounds well enough to kind of know their shtick at least a little bit. And if we see that you're like holding your breath and you kind of want us to like lure it in, like I think Lenka would totally like make like a deep breath to try and like draw it towards her, like throw it off, like we like trade off where it doesn't realize where you are, but thinks that.
So it can give you like a second to set your trap better. Maybe roll to some knees instead of just be underneath it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That sounds good.
Spending months stressed to breathe heavily. I think it's a stressful situation.
Yeah, you don't say. Among other things, you're climbing up walls at top speed and trying to organize a unit.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that might even be part of it. Is that like she's shouting? You know, she's being loud and breathing heavy as part of that. So I think it's intentional, but it fits in with the with what she's
distracting it just enough. Like you're yelling, you maybe throw a rock or something. And
exactly.
Kind of like tilts its head in your direction, but it's still searching out the thing that it smelled just a second ago.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I dig it. All right, Jay.
So I have a
3D.
Right. I was going to say I have a total of 4 dice here.
All right.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to set up a clock for this thing, which is actually a pretty big clock because it's very scary. But what you don't remember is that it got a little hurt last time. So let me.
I remember that Matali messed up last time.
Yeah. Matali shoulder checked it. It undead don't heal the way that normal threats do. 4, 5, and this is from last time. So it actually gets messed up pretty bad. So what happens is, your spear. You tell me, Jay. Like the spear drives into it pretty badly. Like this thing is big. Like it's obviously a single human, but it looks like it was made from someone that was like 7 foot, right? Like it's big.
Right.
So like it's got like pale white skin and everything else. You see that like the burn marks around its lips because it like eats the dead. Oh. So yeah, this happens, and tell me how it's injured. Tell me what you do here.
So I think maybe I catch I trick it enough. I catch maybe the upper part of a leg or an arm as it pounces, right? So maybe it's kind of caught and pinned a little bit between the spear being set and it being impaled on it a little bit.
Awesome. So I'm going to tell you that something terrible happens here in a second because this hound has a very special power, which is you injure it real bad. And I'm going to tell you what your great effect does too.
Okay.
Which is everyone's at the top. You see the enemy advancing. So everyone gets ready to fight, right? Like this is normal protocols. I don't know if Lenka, if you give orders like dash past everything and take the grenades over there, soldier, or if you're like, nope, I got this. Like let's clear this and then we'll move on together. But before anything else happens, the hound, when it's that badly injured, it opens its throat and it lets out this unearthly echoing sound, right? Like it's supernatural. and it hits you all to your bones, and all of you feel horrific muscle clenching pain. So what it's doing is it's using its magic to basically say, like, yeah, all of you are not going to get to act, and we're all going to massacre you here in a second. I'm going to say, Jay, because you had a great effect, you do not need to make a resolve roll to act, and you are free to act however you want, while the rest of your unit is basically hit with like power word pain. So
yeah, or we can resist as well if we want to act.
Absolutely. That was my secret way of saying, like, there is an instilled resist mechanic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the situation.
Yeah. I kind of like being, shaken by this thing. I don't know how folks feel, if anyone else wants to resist, and I think Lenka probably think there's what is the Hound squad?
It's just a couple of Gaunt and one Heartless to command them, because the Hound is not much of a general.
Right.
So Lenka, you know what I packed a lot of on this mission, Strush? Bombs. Lots and lots of them.
Oh, you're the Grenadier.
Yes.
Why are you in charge? Shouldn't you be running? Oh, I see. Okay, fantastic. It's cool. So what's the plan here?
Tell us what to do. So
yeah. So Lenka is, I think she's has a grenade, because I packed that as well, because I can
Smart.
pack. I used all my extra load for explosives, and my free Grenadier one is explosives. But then grenade was only one, so I got one grenade, and Lenka's holding on to it, and I think she's like wants to chuck it at the Gaunts and the Heartless, right? Like they're a target. We haven't engaged with them yet, but she's just sort of like looking, bloodshot eyes widely at all of you. I mean, everything that's just sort of like overcome by this this noise, and I'm wondering if anyone's going to grab it out of her hand and chuck it. She's got it there. Just throwing it to anybody who wants to do it. I mean, if no one does,
hopefully.
And I guess I'm free to act, right?
You are. Now you can kill this thing and stop its wailing. You could grab the grenade and chuck it. You can do whatever you want, but your great effect is you get like an extra perk, and that perk is that you're able to act without any sort of resist.
Gotcha. I see the grenade, and I try to get to it and chuck it.
Awesome. Oh man, is this like Kovon's great shining moment? All right, so you turn around, you see the grenade, you pluck it out of the hand, and who are you throwing it at? Are you like chucking it at the unit advancing, or are you going to try some like wacky trick where you like shove it in the mouth of the screaming monster? I don't know.
No, I throw it to the unit that's advancing.
Awesome. That's a wreck.
Nice.
Yeah, that's clearly what Lenka was trying to do, but
Risky standard.
Risky standard.
You want to upgrade that again?
Risky standard. I only have one in rec, and I'm going to push. Well, yes, absolutely, because that makes that.
So let's have a conversation.
Right.
Like great effect means that. All right. So what is a standard effect for somebody chucking a grenade at an advancing unit? How do you get great effect out of that? Do you take it in closer because you're not used to throwing grenades? Like, do you want to run past the monster? Is that how you make it desperate?
I say you stick it in his heart.
Oh, in the Heartless's heart? Oh, cow. Yeah, that's desperate. That's tampering with the devil.
I say this as the person not taking the action.
Ooh, that's awfully close, right?
I
think that feels desperate.
Yeah, I think moving closer is I feel good about.
Yeah.
I think putting it in the Heartless heart, they're pretty big, aren't they? Couldn't he just grab me?
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of stuck there, right?
Yeah. I don't know. You feeling lucky, punk?
Yeah, no, not that lucky.
Okay.
I definitely move closer.
All right, so you make a mad dash for the enemies.
Yes.
The Heartless pulls out its giant blade, and there's like sparks as it carves a half moon into the rock. You go charging towards the enemy with a grenade you're not trained to use. You're like, I can do this.
I got this.
You're going to do like a parkour leap over the Hound that's going to murder you casually if you miss. just like you do.
It'll be all right.
Cool.
I'm a
So,
daredevil.
what type of an action is this? Usually, grenade throwing is wreck, but I could be sold on maneuver.
Yeah.
Let's go with maneuver. I like that.
All right, let's do it.
If you want
Yes,
to turn
maneuver.
if you want to turn this into like a bunch of dice instead, like if you want to be like, let's do this, I will resist with Lenka and we can do this together. Like I'm happy to like do this with you. I just wanted to like see Lenka being affected by it.
Right.
If you want support, Lenka will go like we can run in there together. You with the spear, me with the grenade too.
Right,
Like
right.
I'm open to it. But you tell me what you want.
I think you guys might have to save me.
Okay, cool.
So I
Okay,
think this is
no
all right.
problem.
I think we'll see how this goes. This is gonna be 3 dice, but I think you might have to pull my bat out the fire.
Nice.
All right, so here we go. Maneuver. I get +1 for Daredevil, and I'm gonna push myself.
All right.
And I gotta get back over the roll 20. There it is. So it's desperate,
Great.
great, and +2 dice. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
It
All
is-
night long.
So I think there's like a moment where the Heartless's sword goes through, like you do that like limbo move where like the sword like goes right over your nose, right? You're like skidding on your knees underneath it as it like
Yeah.
goes through, and you know that's level 4, level 5 harm death coming through, like instant bifurcation.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just snap up immediately and toss the grenade and do this like tuck and roll and use the Heartless's body as your shield. So there's this detonation as armored unit goes flying everywhere, and the Heartless like gets hit with the shockwave and like falls to its knees, and you get a cool strike against it too, because great effect. So
Yeah.
like while it's distracted and on its knees, you get to smack it pretty hard. Tell me what that looks like. I'm gonna make a little clock for the Heartless too.
All right, nice. I think that has to be because I lost my spear. It's lodged in the dog.
I'm sure you've got like a knife or something, or you can grab its sword or something epic. I don't know.
So yeah, maybe I stick it with the knife I have, and I leave it in there. So because I'm trying to hustle back, I don't think I can go toe to toe with it. So maybe I just stick it in there in a soft spot as deep as I can stick it in, and then haul ass.
All right, let me put 5 ticks on this guy too. Cool. So not that I mind watching you just stunt the whole evening, but do any of the rest of you want to resist and try and join in, or are you just gonna let Jay solo this mission here?
Well, I mean, that's a question. Like, does this effect wear off? Do we shrug it off after a beat?
No, actually, this thing is planning to like grab somebody and drink the life out of them. I'm happy to roll randomly on the chart, or I'll just pick one of you. That's fine too.
I was gonna say I would like to resist so I could try to like kill
Go for
the
it.
hound or something to make it stop making the awful death howl.
Awesome. Yeah, let's see that. That's a
Um,
resolve resist. I think you're fresh, so you're probably
Awesome.
okay.
Yeah, except resolve is my worst resist.
Yeah.
Although I do have Devil's Own Luck, so that's one.
That's
It's 1 die.
Um,
I mean, the worst you can take is 5 stress.
Can I join
You're
you
not
in
gonna
that?
trauma.
it's true.
Do you want someone to join you in that? I think at this point.
I mean,
Good.
this is just a resist roll, so I don't think it's a join thing.
Well,
No.
right, but if we both make the resist roll, then we can do it. Then we can fight this thing together. It's a group action. I mean,
Feel free
like-
to toss a resist, Sean. It's fine.
yeah. I think I'm gonna resist. I have stubborn, gives me +1d to
There
resist.
you go.
I got a 5, so it cost me 1 stress.
See, not that bad. This hound's nothing.
Fine. And
Uh,
Sean is totally fine.
So I'm gonna say Constitution 3, but I'm gonna say that the detonation, the explosion, disrupts the sound somewhat, giving you a split second to regain your faculties. So yeah, this thing is coming right at you. And what do you folks want to do? What's the
we're,
plan?
We're
Who's
right in
doing
striking
doubling?
distance, right?
Sorry.
We're right in striking distance, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Jen, what did you want to do? Do you want to stab this thing?
I would like to stab this thing. I don't even know specifically what weapon I'm carrying.
Invent it.
Yeah. Well, Coral Drifting Reef is a soldier, and I have eel scales by my ears, and I was promoted to soldier by the fires of Kavala and
Nice.
ED. So I think it's just a sword. Like, I don't think it's anything like super fancy.
So there's just like
Fine sword. And
yeah,
Link
it's a
is
fine sword.
gonna follow it with a fine long axe. She's got, it's not a two-handed axe. It's but it's you know, a very long. It's a long shaft, so it's got some reach. And yeah, she's gonna try and cut this thing along its vocal cords,
Nice.
hack it around the neck so it
Tori
stops.
is gonna lay down cover fire while you guys are doing that.
Sweet.
Can I actually? So Sean, what are you doing with your axe?
I think I'm gonna try and chop at its neck.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Well,
can-
because I have way better maneuver than I have skirmish, so I'm
And
just
knock
trying
it
to.
off the cliff.
Yeah, I kind of want to just try to knock it off the cliff.
I'm for it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Is this
try and get it to charge at you, then dive out of the way and let it go sailing into the
yes,
empty air.
that,
not try to bowl it over. Okay, cool.
which is over the top, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
all for it.
Neat. All right, so I'm gonna roll maneuver.
What's our position to try and maneuver this thing off the edge into its
That's
death?
big. I think because there's two of you, if you're coordinating and using some weapons to poke at it and just get it angry and get it to attack you, yeah, you're probably looking at. I can't think of anything other than desperate. I think
what I
it's
thought.
desperate standard, right? Like this is desperate plan because I'm thinking about consequences, and the consequences are it takes you with it,
Yeah,
right? Like that's the only kinds of consequences that I'm imagining. They're not gonna be good.
pretty bad consequences.
Yeah. So desperate standard.
Cool.
And if I'm laying down coverage fire so they can get potency,
Ooh, nice.
do I? Is it still risky standard? Hi, kitty.
Well, it's desperate
Assisting,
standard.
and then it's assisting.
Well, no. What Misha's saying is, look, I have a power. My power says that if I lay down cover fire, you get potency.
Yeah.
Do you have a power that allows you to lay down cover fire automatically? Like, do you have the push power?
It's
if
one of
you
my
don't-
special abilities.
Okay, so then unfortunately the way this works is this is a setup action.
Okay.
So you would have to roll to shoot, which means that you could potentially die from like counter harm. And then you would grant them like potency and either additional effect or position because of how setups work.
She has both abilities actually. She has
Oh,
sharpshoot.
then she just needs to push herself and it's fine.
Yeah.
And then you could either do risky standard or desperate great. And I'll tell you what the great is. If there are consequences on a 4 to 5, they don't affect both of you.
I will totally take that.
All right. Desperate grade it is.
So yeah, you should just mark off the stress. You lay down some cover fire. That's good.
Nice.
But in addition to that, oh no, you have to. Yeah, you just have to mark off the stress. You have to mark off 2 stress. I'm sorry, for a push.
We got nobody with backup on this mission.
No.
I love that ability. I didn't realize how much I would love it, but I love it a
It
lot.
feels so good because you get to be cool, but you also help your teammates, and it feels like double cool.
Yeah.
So that's a 5.
All right. It's fine. Yeah, you're good.
Nice. So
Technically, you didn't have to roll. There are no consequences for you because just pushing makes the effect go off.
Gotcha.
Okay. But the two of you, are you ready? You're gonna do a maneuver.
yeah.
Yep, this is desperate.
Are you? I'm gonna try and doing it from. Are you leading? Are you leading it, or is Lenka leading it?
I can lead it. I have 0 stress right now.
Sounds good.
Is this
All right.
desperate standard or desperate great?
It's desperate great now because of the cover fire.
Great. Okay, and I get 1 bonus dice, which would be great if I could actually click the right thing.
I'm gonna try and click the right thing.
I got a 6.
Nice. See if I cause you any stress. Desperate. Great. I'm getting 2 bonus dice. I do not cause you any stress.
And you're
Sweet.
good. So
Nice.
I on a 6, you just do it. So yeah, I think the critter leaps at one of you and it goes sailing out into the open and crashing.
I think all the cover fire means that we can duck and dodge around it, and like it can't get a clean shot. And Lenka just like sticks her axe into like its side and like pisses it off. Jen, how does Coral get it to jump off? I mean, you got the 6, so you should get the.
Oh yeah, Coral is the one standing at the edge of the cliff, right? And like daring it to come at her, and she knows like she's got the
cape.
What?
Can I suggest
Coral matador cape?
Can I suggest one thing?
Mhm.
This is an absolutely outrageous move that nobody who like is in their right senses would attempt, but you could jump off and try and catch that chain.
Yes.
Okay.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So do we see both of you go off the cliff, and then like as everyone like gasps, we see that like Amber running up to the edge and then looking down, and we see you like swinging on the little chain.
Yep. And I'm like, hey guys, pull me up.
Good. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think Lenka like remembers to breathe.
Oh, that's so good. All right,
It's
so
howling as it's going down. I just imagine
this whole saga is going on here, but I'm going to pan the camera to the other half of the battlefield where Jay is fighting for his life.
Yeah.
So, Jay, you shoved a knife in the back of the skull of a Heartless, and like you have to like do it a couple of times because it's got like a big metal helmet, right? And then you finally like jam it in, right? Like you feel something like snap, and then you go like sprinting back towards your unit, and you see your spear, and then you hear the clang as like the thing like pushes itself up with its sword, and it reaches into like a quiver where it spilled a bunch of like black javelins and gets ready to throw one. What do you want to do? This is your half of the fight here.
It doesn't seem fair. This is my half.
Like, I'm ready to cut a whole squad and shove that thing full of spears. It's my fight. I mean, you could just be like, the rest of them seem to be really busy with the giant hound. Like, you could just be like, nope. You can just dodge. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some place to.
You know, you have this cool scrounge ability that automatically lets you find like a hiding place. Like you could like dive under the snow or something like that. You know,
That's
you could.
exactly what I'm looking for. Some place to hide. I don't want to get
Awesome.
hit by that.
It's like your superpower. It's your scout superpower.
Sweet. Yeah. Let me think about this for a split second. Yeah, you see like a little league, like an indentation in the ground where there's like a couple of big stones, and you're just like, okay, I have my spear. That thing is getting up, it's gonna throw at me. So you like go dashing for the stones, and you can totally like duck under them and weave around them and sort of like distract the thing for a while if you like.
Yes.
Now let's talk about how this works. We can do it as a resist roll. Like I can give you like an insight resist to just stay the hell out of its way.
Okay.
Or I can give you a maneuver roll so that you can like try and position yourself or lead it over, distract it, put it in a trap. Or like we'll talk about like what your goals are. Are your goals right now just to like delay it, or are you like actually trying to get it to some place where you can hurt it?
I think delay it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think delay it.
Cool. So because you spent your scrounge ability, yeah, there's still a little bit of distance to cover, and you're basically like in the open. So this thing they got like one of those like Olympic style throws at you.
Right.
I'm gonna say it's still risky.
Okay.
It's probably risky standard to get there. So like I'm gonna say, yeah, it's risky standard maneuver.
Right. I will take that risky standard. What can I do to make it desperate?
Usually running at your enemy is desperate, not running for like
Yeah. So yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe a feint
Inside their range.
Right. Yeah. Maybe.
You're trying to bait out its throw.
Yes.
You actually like stop and you're like, can't hit me, and then you're gonna try and like dodge the last second and make the last like 10 feet. All right, yeah.
I like that. Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. So here's my maneuver. Oh, I'm on the Twitch channel. Here we go. And it's desperate. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll get I'm a daredevil, plus 1 die.
Yeah.
And here we go. It was bound to happen.
It's where the luck runs out. There was no push this time. So yeah, I think that the first spear actually misses you. So you make it to cover and you're safe. At this point, it's delayed. You kind of you can dance around the rocks and everything else. Here's the bad news. The second spear hits you right before you hit cover. So like it's not a killing blow,
Right.
but on desperate, you take level 3 harm and 2 levels of corruption.
Woo! So I can say no, right?
Yeah, you can armor this. You can resist this down with a prowess roll. All plausible.
I will resist it with a prowess roll.
Cool.
Yes.
That'll set it down to level 2 harm, which is fine. You'll still take 2 corruption, but that's okay.
You can do armor to bump it down even more, can't you?
Yep, you can both prowess it down and armor it. Although
Right.
scouts don't usually come with armor, so
Oh, okay, fair.
Have the armor for a scout.
That's right. I'm gonna get I have like the wind, so I'll pick up a die for dodging.
awesome.
And I'm marked, so I'll get +2 dice for resisting.
That's true because of the corrupting attack. We can say that. Well, technically, Jay, just to explain this to you, it's you're either resisting the harm or you're resisting the corruption. So it's 2 separate resists. You would get the
Right.
marked bonus against corruption, but you wouldn't
Right.
necessarily get it against the base attack.
Right.
So
One- Both you can, but it's 2 rolls. Yeah.
yeah, but it's 2
Right.
rolls.
Yeah, I assumed it was 2 rolls.
Okay, so let's do the physical one first, which is you will get like the wind, the +1d from that, but it's just a prowess resist for right now.
Gotcha.
Also, don't forget about your XP for that desperate roll you just made.
Oh, that is right. I've been making desperate rolls all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Six.
yeah.
It doesn't cost you any stress to reduce it. Good job. You're like the wind.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say that because you're like the wind, well, actually, I believe like the wind says if you're not wearing any armor, it reduces damage against you. Is that correct?
That's
Mine
it.
says whenever there's a question of who goes first, the answer is you.
Oh,
You're thinking Panther like Grace.
yeah, I'm thinking Panther like Grace. All right, cool. So, but you are like the wind. I'm going to say that this is one of those rare situations where, as the GM, I actually say that you reduce 2 levels of harm. So you're only going to take level 1 harm, clipped.
Gotcha.
Still
Nice.
2 corruption though.
And what do I resist corruption with?
Resolve.
Okay.
Always resolve. And you don't have to. Remember that if you are in R, Zora eats corruption. So if this is your first corruption, you're probably okay.
You know it is.
All right. Then honestly, just from
Yeah.
a strategical perspective, I as Josh would recommend that you do not resist the corruption because you could trauma theoretically.
Right. So it's 2 corruption or is it 1 corruption?
2.
right.
Most attacks do, unless it's a specifically extra corrupting attack, most attacks do the corruption of the threat level of the monster that did it.
Gotcha.
So because it's a threat to a creature, you take 2 corruption. All right,
Gotcha.
cool. So you folks are done with this giant hound, and then you look over and you realize that the only troop that's still left in the battlefield is the Heartless.
Right.
You folks just want to like rifle it down, or what's the plan?
I just realized that both Lenka and Cobalt. Am I getting them? Am I
I'm playing Coral.
Coral? Both Lenka and Coral have over the top and a bunch of maneuver. I didn't realize that they both did, which I love. So I feel like it's like we see the Heartless and his attention is totally on Cobalt, and he's throwing these spears, and I think that's an opening for us to run in there and I'm gonna grab the spear that Cobalt left behind and charge in and
Try
yeah,
and finish it off with the 2 of you.
I say we finish off. Yeah.
I feel like this is controlled limited. The reason it's controlled is because it's facing away from you and not super paying attention, so you're not under direct fire.
Yeah.
But the reason I feel it's like limited is a couple of spear jabs are probably not going to drop it. If you can give me a story about like how you have come up with a plan to like, bring it to its knees and maybe like stab it in the head or something. I don't know. Like,
Can I pick up the first black spear that missed Cobalt?
Yes.
you can if you would like some corruption.
I mean,
Can I shoot it in the head with
Just one.
Blackshot?
Yeah, you can shoot with Blackshot.
Yeah, I like that plan.
Both are fine. Like a little corruption never hurt anyone.
Yeah, no, it's fine. After the first 2 bars, it's all right.
So good. You get used to it.
Picking up corruption right at the end. I love it. Yeah, it's cool. I think when you pick it up, like your skin blackens and starts sizzling, but you got it in your hands and it's steady. It's an awful spear, by the way. You remember these things being in Zora. It's got barbs facing both directions.
Right.
So it takes a lot of force to jam it in something, but once it's in, it's there, and it likes chewing in there. So yeah, cool. Awesome. So what I'm hearing from the three of you is two of you are going to make a over-the-top maneuver charge into the teeth of this thing.
Yep.
You may or may not push for effect, and Misha is planning to support you in the same way with some shooting.
I think it's the other way around. I think we're going to go pin it down so it can't move, and then Misha's going to black shot with it where it can't move. Like I think we're just
controlled great.
Nice.
Different action. You're doing a setup now. Now I understand. My bad.
I didn't know that until we both had spears, and I was like,
yep, now it makes sense. Controlled great. Yeah, let's do it. Group action. Who's leading?
I'm going to use aim to increase the effect level of my shot.
Cool. Hang on 1 second. Let them do a setup. Then you'll take your shot. Yep.
Then.
But you should absolutely use aim.
Jen, is that cool with you? If we're doing
that sounds good. Is this over the top?
Yep.
Cool. It doesn't outnumber us, but it definitely outguns us.
Yep.
Am I leading or are you leading, Sean?
I just cleared stress, so I'll lead it.
Okay.
Team over the top. I love soldiers so much.
I know. Team over the top. All right. Controlled, great. And I'm taking 2 bonus dice, one for over the top and one for loyal.
I got us a 6.
You did it. It's that spear. No stress. And we.
Yeah, there's probably like a moment where the thing whirls around. You know, Sean's like dancing, like tinging it left and right with the spear, and then that one spear goes through its leg into the ground. And these things don't normally feel pain, right? Like you've never seen a Heartless react. Like you've seen it walk through fire and just be like, well, that's annoying. But when you drive that spear into the ground through its leg, it screams. Like that is the first time you've heard a Heartless like make a noise other than the one that was conversational for whatever reason, asking for Zionova. So
Boryevich had a name.
Boryevich, yes, it's true. It had a name. Just like a cow. So yes, the this thing is pinned to the ground. Misha, you get +1 effect or better position, your choice, but I think your shot is controlled anyway, so I think effect is what it is. And your aim increases your effect. So as long as you roll a 4 to 5, you're good on shoot.
All right, so risky or
no? It's controlled.
Controlled,
great.
Pin down.
And I do not get bonus dice, correct?
We could assist.
No, I'm just making sure that from what we already had.
Yeah.
I got a 5.
Nice.
Yep. Sweet.
Nope, that's enough. I think you know, you fire and there's some consequence, like you expend the last of your black shot or something like that, but it's done and this vignette is done. I think at this point there is a montage of you setting some grenades and a section of the mountainside falling down.
Yeah. And I just want to say, because this is going to affect the position of everyone else, I have not 1 but 2 sets of explosive. I have 4 load worth of explosives.
Oh my god!
I can do that.
Explosive.
So in addition to the grenade, I brought a ton of explosives just to bring a lot of this mountain down. So if that goes into the overall effect, that's like all I packed: winter clothing and bombs. That was the only thing I brought in this mission. So yeah, I don't think we need to roll for it, but just in terms of setting up the next mission.
Awesome. So I think we're going to jump to the next vignette, which is that poor band that is going to have to hold the lower passes against an elite unit of undead. So that should be fun, but we should take a break first.
Nice. Sounds good. All right, everybody. We'll be back in a few minutes. And thank you for hanging out with us for this first mission. I'm sure the other ones will go just as smoothly. No problems.